There will never be new music from ABBA ever again. That was just confirmed again by Björn. 4 years ago, ABBA did this new album after 40 years, and now it seems to be more clear than ever that this is ABBA's final album. Some of you asked myself, well, what do you think of it? What do I think of it? So let's talk about this and explore as well why fans are still hopeful. Hey! So, Voyage was released 4 years ago. This was the first new music from ABBA after 40 years. This was ABBA's comeback. At the same time, it was their farewell. That was something which was clear from the very beginning. Even before the album was released, Björn and Benny said that this is ABBA's last album. And they continued to confirm this ever since over those last 4 years. So I wonder myself, of course, why are fans still hoping for more? And there are legit reasons why. First of all, Frida and Agneta, in those interviews on the red carpet, in those precious moments, they seem to be open for more. Benny himself said in another interview, "It needs the ladies to twist my arms, to twist Benny's arms." Björn and Benny continued to write and record and release new music over those 4 years together. For Björn's musical, Pippi at the Circus, there was a new album for Benny's band, Benny Andersson's Orchestra, and there were little songs here and there written by Björn and Benny, amongst others, Buller och Bang. So now there are as well 2 outtakes from the Voyage recording sessions. We know that as a fact. And we also know that ABBA will not release those 2 songs. They don't even want to talk about them. And now just these days Björn confirmed once again that this was ABBA's final chapter. This is it. Voyage is ABBA's final album. Let's take a look at that interview again.
ABBA was out with an album a few years ago and a big success in London with a show. And have you been talking about doing something else, or is that the final chapter?
That was the final chapter. Yeah.
So you're sure of that? Because you said that many years, and then you came with an album anyway.
I know. I've said that many times, but this time I'm afraid it's absolutely true that that was the last chapter.
This is ABBA's final chapter, their final album. What do I think of it? I love it. First of all, I love the fact that we have a concluding chapter, that we have this beautiful conclusion. But it's not black and white. There is more to this. First of all, this happened 4 years ago. And in those 4 years, we lost so many people important to ABBA, to us fans. We lost Svenne Hedlund, the lead singer from Benny's first band before ABBA. We lost ABBA's saxophonist Ulf Andersson, ABBA's guitarist Lasse Welander, who played on Voyage. We lost ABBA's photographer Ola Lager, ABBA's drummer Roger Palm, ABBA's choreographer Graham Tainton, ABBA's sound engineer Michael B. Tretow. Even people close to ABBA, Olivia Newton-John, Benny's hero Brian Wilson. We recently lost Karin Klenmark. All those people passed away just in those 4 years since Voyage was released. When Voyage came out, all those people were still alive. And this only happened 4 years ago. And these are 10 people. This is tragic to think about. This is heartbreaking, and it has been heartbreaking ever since. So Frida turned 80 last weekend. Björn turned 80 this year. It took ABBA 4 years to work on this album, on and off. I personally wouldn't want ABBA to start new recording sessions and then it turns out to be left incomplete for tragic reasons, unfinished. That would be devastating. It would be devastating either way. People always say to me, and in general, but Voyage was so successful. The album reached #1 in 20 countries worldwide. In Canada and the United States, Voyage became ABBA's highest charting studio album ever, with #2. It was ABBA's first album in the United States in the top 10 studio album. Voyage was so successful, and people kept asking me for that very reason, why would they not want to continue? It was so successful. And I have always been under the impression, exactly because of that, because it was so successful. The success of this album can never be repeated again. It's a possibility that it could, but even more important, the momentum can never be repeated again. Let's not forget what we got. Not only did we get a new album, we got a new album after 4 decades, after 40 years, and that alone can never be repeated again. I even said this in my very first impressions, my first review about the album. That momentum can never be repeated. And again, for balance, if ABBA was to release another new album, I'm sure it would be the highest possible quality. I'm sure that Björn and Benny would, if they put out something, I know it's a quality product, and I'm also sure it would be successful. Personally, I would love to hear Frida and Agneta again, together, again and again. I would love to hear more new songs written by Björn and Benny for ABBA, more new ABBA songs. I'm a fan. But I'm also a fan who wants them to have this beautiful, successful, and historical concluding chapter, and I'm more than content. I think Voyage was ABBA's moment in time. What else can I say? What do you say? What do you think? How do you feel about the finality of Voyage in ABBA's catalog? What do you think about Voyage as being the final album, as Björn has now confirmed once again, the final chapter, ABBA's final work together? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, until then, hej då!